Hi guys, welcome back to Father and Son Investing. Today we have a special guest because we're going to be doing something a little different. So let me introduce you to Mom, the mom of the Father and Son Investing. How are you?
I'm great. And I'm not actually your mom. but I am a fan, probably the super fan of this channel. I've watched all the videos and learned a lot. I honestly didn't know about anything about finance before I started watching this. So it's been helpful for me to listen and to have them talk through things while they're preparing my son and husband. And so here I am.
Great. Well, today we're going to be talking to you about our month of no spending during the month of May. How is it that we got started on this month of no spending?
Well, we've been building a house, and of course, a house requires some furniture and things like that. And it just felt like we'd been spending a lot of money lately, and I was sick of making decisions. And I started to think, maybe we should follow the example. We have one of our daughters, and her husband actually did a no spend January. And in a no spend month, you only do what's absolutely essential and try to spend less. And so I proposed that to my husband, said, hey, let's try this for the month of May. Let's take a break and think a little bit about money and see how much money we can save. It's kind of fun to see what you can do.
All right, so we just discussed what our rules were for no spend, nothing but the essentials. So what were our essentials for the month of May?
We, of course, paid our mortgage payment. You'll be happy to hear. We have utilities, just basically things that you have to pay. But we bought food. Originally, we were going to try to be on a really small food budget, and that went out the window a little bit. We did eat quite a few things out of our freezer, but we spent a little more on food than we thought we would. But we didn't buy any extras, just what is required for survival.
Yeah, we were also kind of a little bit on a kick to try to get a little bit healthy, and so at least at the beginning of the month I was like, I'm not eating anything that's not food in its natural state. Food that's not in its natural state can cost a little bit less.
More money for sure. It also takes a lot of time to prepare food in its natural state. So anyway.
So that did cost us a little bit more money during the month of May, but we were trying to get a little bit healthy as well during that point. So today we're just going to talk about some of the things that we learned during the month of May. So I'll go ahead and get us started. The first thing that I learned, and she touched on this just a little bit ago, is there are a lot of things that come through in the beginning of the month that tend to eat up a lot of the first paycheck that comes through. So we do have our mortgage payment that comes out early in the month. We had utility bills coming out early in the month. We had some plumbing things done on our house actually at the end of April, but that check that we wrote didn't come through until well into May. And so I found that it was a little bit discouraging by the time we got to the middle of the month when the next paycheck was going to be coming, because pretty much just about all of that first paycheck was gone. And I was thinking, we haven't saved anything so far during the month of May. So I found that a little bit discouraging, but she reminded me that we just have to hang in there. Don't get discouraged. Keep in mind what the total goal is for the month, and realize that if you're not spending additional money during that first half of the month, you're probably going to see a nice increase in your savings, your checking account, during that last half of the month. What's one of the things that you learned during the month?
So we did see significant, I should say, amount of money during the second half of the month. So that turned out to be a really positive thing. So one of the things that I learned is we live in a world that it's very easy to buy something that you think you need. Amazon is my best friend, and because I hate shopping. And so it was easy, if I think I need something, to sit down and buy something off of Amazon. And I learned the ability to stop and realize, oh, that's not one of the necessities of life. Was really, really helpful. I also learned that I don't even necessarily want those things long term. Even when we started spending more money again in June, I didn't go back and buy those things because we found ways to live without those things. We found creative solutions to problems, and Keith's going to talk about that.
Yeah, so we had a big storm come through early in the month of May. I'm talking big storm. There was about 7 inches of rain. We had tornado-like winds come through, at least our part of Tennessee. And we had this big, nice new tree that we had purchased recently in front of our house. It didn't really have time to set in any roots because it came in just a root ball. That tree was tipping sideways essentially by the time that storm came through. So rather than run down to Lowe's and try to come up with one of those tree anchoring systems, what we did is we looked around. We had a T-post that was marking something on our property that we had removed, so I used a T-post, and then I took the cord that we had used to pull electricity from the house up to where our barn is through the conduit. It's this nice thin tape-like cord. It'll hold 2,500 pounds, and I tied some of that around the tree so that it would help anchor the tree back up. So we spent no money for that. We had one other thing happen during the month that, there'll always be emergencies that sort of come up. We drive a 2007 Ford F-150, and it's old enough now that a lot of parts on it are breaking. So I knew that we'd be having this trip coming up. Erin would be having a trip coming up, and I kept sort of praying, please let this truck work so that she can get to where she needs to go. And you know what? 2 days before she was supposed to go, a part failed on the truck, and the check engine light came on. Well, in order to get around that, we went to our friends at AutoZone, or I should say her friends at AutoZone. I don't go do this part. She takes the truck in. They scan it. They'll scan it for free for you and tell you what the default, the error code is. So when she found out what the part was, it turned out it was the pressure sensor on the fuel rail. Honestly, I'd never heard of a pressure sensor on a fuel rail, but you know what? You can go to your friends on YouTube and look that up. I found a video about how to replace it, and I did that myself. So it cost us, about $80?
Yeah, about that much. And it took you, about an hour to replace it? Seems like it was not that long.
Yeah, it was probably about 30 to 40 minutes, and part of that was trying to identify the part, and part of it was trying to make sure I wasn't going to blow anything up while I did it. So we replaced that part for about $80, and instead it probably would have cost us about $400 to take it to the local Ford store. So I found that you can either make do with things that you might have hanging around your house, or you can use YouTube and do things yourself and do it for a lot less. So what's another thing that you learned during the month of May?
Probably my biggest takeaway from the month is a feeling of gratitude for all that I have. I think when you pause and you aren't looking for more or wanting more, you realize that you have more than enough, that you have the solutions to your problems, that you are blessed and have enough, and I feel less inclined to buy more things, which is really a good feeling. I love not seeing Amazon and Target and drive up our driveway as often. That is a wonderful thing.
All right, there was other things that we learned during the month of May, but we're not going to bore you with all of that. There is one thing that we do want to say, though, here, because, this is father and son investing, and you might be thinking, what does any of this have to do with investing? So what do you think this has to do with investing?
I think it has everything to do with investing. I know a lot of people who have said to me, we're living paycheck to paycheck, or we feel like financially we're struggling, we don't have any money to invest. But if you have a heart for investing and you feel like that would benefit your family, doing something like a no-spend month would give you an opportunity to have a few extra dollars, some money that you could spend to start investing, and see if you can build some momentum in that area. And honestly, I think we're going to actually spend more money overall, or less money overall, as a result of our experience during this month. So if you want to be an investor, if you want money to invest, and that's not something that comes easily to you, this might be a good solution for you as well. We've actually decided that we're going to do it moving forward twice a year. In May and October, we're going to have no spend months, and I love that. Join us.
So one other thing that we learned as well that we talked about, if you're going to do this, you might want to think about what events are happening during the month. Is it somebody's birthday? Are you going to not spend money on their birthday? In May it was Mother's Day, and we chatted about this, but didn't spend anything for Mother's Day, knowing that we would also throw in Father's Day for this. But keep in mind that you may have some things coming up during a month. So when you're trying to pick a month, if you want to do this, pick the right month. Otherwise, you may cause some wrinkled feelings out there.
We did. One of our daughters and our son-in-law have a birthday during this month, so we gave them their birthday money in April because we didn't want them to feel like we were leaving them out. But you do need to consciously prepare. I think it would be very difficult to jump into a no-spend month without any thinking about it in advance and preparing to do so.
All right, that's going to wrap it up for Father and Son Investing today. If you found this useful at all, or if you found it entertaining, please give us a thumbs up. And as always, until next time, enjoy your investing and look for the bloopers here at the end.
I agree.
So what's another thing that you learned during the month?
I can't remember. What was it that I said?
I think I said that wrong, though. Yeah.
Yes, you're right.
Sorry, I'll cut that part out. I was just saying, don't bang the table. But we'll cut that part out.